Hi, I'm composer and flutist Nicole Chamberlain, and welcome to my studio. This summer, composer Allison Loggins Hall had requested advice about what people put in their studio. She had gotten a new space and got to start from scratch. And so other composers were putting in their advice, and some were putting in photos, and that's where it was for me. Like I like seeing people's workspaces. A few months later, Drew Morris, composer Drew Morris, also did a studio tour of his own studio, and that was fascinating. And I had been wanting to do it, but he beat me to the punch. But that's okay. I'll put a link to his too, because it's really great. We're very different people, and so we have very different things, other than our printers are the same. Um, so let me walk you through my very, very, very tiny space. I'll put the dimensions here as well because it is very tiny. I can touch everything from my chair. I can touch everything from my chair. Okay, so we come in. There's a sign on my door. Hopefully, at some point, I'll change that door and make it one with a window in it. Kind of would like that. But when you walk in, it's a tight squeeze. It's a tight squeeze. But immediately there's things like that I can offload, like my chargers, so that I can like charge my phone, my headphones, my PayPal device. There's also like batteries and things in that drawer. Stuff I take when I travel, like my field recorder, my Zoom recorder. All those things are in there. And then you walk in, and it's my workspace. So I have my computer. I have my two monitors. I have one for my portrait mode one, so that I can look at long scores, large ensemble scores, and then I have my landscape one, so I can do smaller scores or graphic design work. I'm not doing your graphic design work. I'm done with that life. I only do my own now. Um, but then I have all sorts of things on my desk that I need while I'm working, like my notebooks, so that when I'm talking, I usually talk to clients right here, like commissioners, and I can hurry write some things down and then keep track of it. So those notebooks are right there, so I can reference them later and also jot down ideas as they come. I have a little plant. Uh, Her name is Annie, just like my last dog. My other dog, Gertie, is under the table sleeping in the nap den. So I've set up a little bed for her, and it's like right in front of the heat vent. She loves that, and you might hear her snoring later, but she's under there. If I'm in here, she's under there. Then to my left, I have like a small printer that I use for myself. It's just a personal printer, so I can get like quick printouts of whatever is like an email or sheet music that I just want to write on, anything. It has a scanner, which I don't use as much these days. I have a little travel keyboard that comes with me if I'm leaving for a long time and need to write, which I've used a few times. I have a little fireplace to keep me warm. It doesn't put any heat out. It's just for fun. And then I have my big keyboard so that I can really work range a little bit more. It's not a full keyboard. It's a real cheap keyboard that I got 20 years ago. Most things I've gotten over 20 years ago. They just keep it going. Um, but this one has been a good workhorse for me. I used to even like play in a band with a keyboard, and so like it's something I use on the daily. And then behind me is my publishing station. It's where Spotted Rocket really does happen. I have a little shoe organizer so that I can put music as I finish it or need to fold it and staple it, and I can store it somewhere because I need vertical space if I don't have horizontal space. And then I have my mammoth printer right here, which I've talked about in several other videos. And Drew's this big bookshelf and dresser, which I use for book storage. And then in the dresser, it's like paper storage and mailings and craft supplies and some other like wires and cables and things. And I'm thinking about moving this out at some point to another room. Maybe put in my filing cabinet, which is in another room that has all of my inventory in it. And or maybe putting in a table so that I can have more room to fold and assemble, because this ain't great, but it works. So it'd be nice to have a little bit more room. And then I have a closet, which I'm not I'm not showing you. It's where I do my makeup because my bathroom is also tiny and has no counter. And have like backlogs of music and CDs and things that I don't really use anymore, which I probably should put in permanent storage. And that's the rough overview of the place. You know, I as far as things that I love that don't necessarily help me do my job, but just make me feel more inspired to be in here. Because I spend every day in here, most of the day. You know, light blue is one of my favorite colors. I have some nice mood lighting. Some of my favorite things on the walls, like past concerts and premieres and autographs of some composers and their pieces. Um, you know, I have a bulletin board of things that kind of inspire me. A calendar that I need to look at all the time. And I have my music boxes. And how can I forget? How can I forget Hugh over here? My friends Mary and Matt gave me this for one of my birthdays a few years ago, and it's a little blue raccoon, so it's my favorite color, and my favorite animal, the trash panda. Because you remember, kids, you're just gonna write trash for a while until it sounds better. So this is my reminder that it's okay to write trash. And also because just health wise, I've been a real trash panda lately. Oh boy. Anyway, we'll talk about that maybe never. So yeah, and then and just things that mean something to me, like, you know, especially on the bookshelf, photo of my folks, you know. Um some more raccoons, some books that I like to read, some like little action figures of heroines that I enjoy. You know, just fun things. But under the desk, there are other things as well because I have these curtains, right? Because again, I have more storage because there's not a lot of space in here. So under there are like filing cabinets. So like under the printer, I have a big storage cabinet that has where I can fit the 11 by 17 paper flat, so it doesn't get messed up or dirty. And so I don't. And I also have a rule where I don't put any food or beverage on this ever. If I'm going to drink coffee, which I do, it stays on this side of the room. It doesn't travel over there. That has kept drama down to a dull roar. Let the printer be the drama, not me. And so then there's other things, you know, under the table, more storage under the, like, where I have percussion instruments and some other things and some, you know, like tax documents and fine, you know, the mundane admin things that you have to keep for years and years. Under this table, you know, I have the nap den, and then I also have where I keep like the trash can, and then I also have like some other things like the binders and stuff I keep under the table, and I have the pedal because it's all connected to my audio interface so that when I stream, I can have effects and loop and all those other fun things. But yeah, that's the studio tour. I'm sure it will look different in a year. Like last year, I got this fantastic rug on the floor, which has been a great upgrade after the last rug I had. So I love this rug. Um, and you know, if you look at old videos, you can see how the surroundings behind me have changed as I felt like something didn't work for me anymore and I needed to address it. Just like I'm thinking this isn't working for me anymore and I need to make some changes. So the dream has always been to have just this whole room just be one big desk that I could just like spin around in. And also, like, this chair is new, like, but it's this is a new addition this year. So every year I try to do like one upgrade, and so the chair had to be it this year. Um, oh, and my flute, it fits perfectly right here when I practice or when I compose, so I can grab it if I'm writing a flute piece. It's just natural to have my flute out and compose on that. Otherwise, it's piano and me singing terribly. So so yeah, it fits right here because I also teach on Zoom. I can grab it here and talk to my students here, just like I am to you. My in-person students are starting to come back now. We do the living room, so it's out in front, so they don't have to come in here because this place can sometimes look like a disaster, and I can keep that disaster out of frame. I also have a green screen that comes from the closet that I can, go behind me. And if you see some other videos, you'll see me playing in front of those green screens, and that's come in handy if the place is a disaster or if I just want to have a little fun and change up the background. Sometimes the kids enjoy it, but most of them might come back. So we shall see. Who knows if that green screen, it'll stay there. It's just a fleece blanket. It'll stay there. But yeah, that's the place. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to see your workspaces below. I don't care what you are, a composer, musician, artist, maker of some flavor. If you just have a home office that you feel like is very efficient or not efficient and you want to share, that'd be great. How are you making work at home? Or just if it's not at home, that's exciting. Like if you are like John Luther Adams that had like a cabin in the woods in Alaska. I want to see that studio, by the way. I want to see it. I think it's fascinating. I think it tells me a lot about people seeing their workspaces. So put it down in the comments, and I'll put Drew's video link there. I'll put some links to some of the things here, especially if there's anything you see in my room and you're curious about. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about, whether it's about publishing, composing, trade shows. I think I'm going to do a video about going to a flute fair. I'm going to the Florida Flute Convention at the end of the month, and I might take you along with me. So let me know. Until next time, bye.